For more on developments in Pakistan, let's talk with John Rees, a political analyst from the British-based Stop the War coalition. Thanks for being with us. So there is a growing anti-NATO sentiment in Pakistan. How far do you think that might grow after this tragic turn of events?
Well, I think that's extremely hard to predict. I'm not at all surprised at the reaction. I think it will grow. This is hardly the first time that Pakistani sovereignty has been infringed by the United States. It's not the first time that Pakistani citizens have been killed by the United States and its allies. It seems to be the case now that the United States regards Pakistan as a kind of free fire zone in which it's at liberty to abuse the country's sovereignty with no need for apology or redress.
When U.S. troops killed Osama bin Laden in May, they claimed it was successful, partly because Pakistan didn't know about it. So how big do you think a deal it would be for NATO and Washington in particular to lose Islamabad's support?
Well, I think it would be a big issue, and it certainly would. Whether or not it's a big issue for Washington, it should be a big issue for the rest of us. This is, after all, Pakistan is, after all, a nuclear state. The region is unstable. The relations with India have never been settled. The outstanding question of Kashmir has never been, the independence of Kashmir has never been settled. The border with Afghanistan is used as a constant pretext for drone attacks with inside Pakistani territory. We know that the US military regard and indeed refer to the whole area as AFPAC, as if it's one single state. So I think this is a very, very dangerous moment. I think what the United States and its allies, NATO allies, have done is an extremely dangerous incursion. I'm not surprised at the anger of the Pakistani people, and I think the message should go very, very clearly to the United States and its allies. You are playing with fire. You are risking instability, greater instability in an already unstable region, and this kind of behaviour simply has to stop. It's gangsterism.
What do you think NATO countries could be doing to appease Pakistanis' anger toward them in the view of these latest incursions?
Well, I think the most important thing that they've got to do is to get out of Afghanistan. The root of this problem is the NATO occupation of Afghanistan. It's quite clear after more than 10 years now that this occupation has failed. It's not stabilised the country. It's not achieved any of the goals that we were told it was meant to achieve 10 years ago. It's simply creating instability, first of all with Pakistan, but more broadly in the region. So the one thing that NATO could do, which would instantaneously set a different and more peaceful course, is to get the hell out of Afghanistan.
Well, Afghanistan has already pledged to back Pakistan if a war erupts in the unlikely event that a war erupts with the U.S. Pakistan says it is running out of patience over these incidents. Where do you see this eventually heading?
Well, I think that particular piece of news does rather underline the point that I've just made. If the puppet regime, and it is a puppet regime in Afghanistan, is so horrified by the attack on Pakistan that it is saying that it will back Pakistan against the countries that are occupying Afghanistan, I think you can see quite how far this has now run. Now, I don't see it immediately emerging into a military conflict, but the problem with these things is that once you begin down this path, it's very difficult to back up. So my very strong recommendation, both to the Pakistani people and to people in this country, indeed to people globally, is if you want to see a peaceful future, all of us have to put the maximum amount of pressure on the United States and its allies to cut out this kind of behaviour.
All right, we have to leave it there. John Rees from the UK Stop the War coalition. Thanks.